Good evening, yarnies, dirty hookers, and fiber fiends. How is everybody this evening? I'm doing pretty good. It's starting to be almost fall here. The weather has cooled off a little bit, and it was a little bit rainy-ish, and it was getting the hints of fall weather, but we're not out of the woods yet. Here, the end of September can be on the warm side sometimes. Hey there, llama. And I noticed, I looked out the window, the oak tree in our front yard is starting to turn colors. How are you, llama? Hey there, lumberjacks lady and Sue. How is everybody? But yeah, I noticed that the leaves are starting to change colors, which I'm actually excited about because I like the cooler weather. Yesterday we did the oak leaf, the acorn ammy, which the one I did on the screen was a fail, but my I don't know where I put it. The where did I put it? I saved it. Oh, it's down here. No, it's not. Oh no, where did my acorn go? I'm not prepared. Hold on, everybody. Your host is not prepared. Oh no. Well, I'll find it at some point. I don't know where it went. Alrighty. Anyway, now that's going to bother me the rest of the stream of where I put the acorn. I've lost my nut. Hey, Maislin, how are you? I'm glad that you were able to make it. If anybody is not familiar, hold on, let me see if I can do this. If you're not familiar with Maislin Crochet, definitely check out their channel. They crochet. They make some of the most adorable amigurumis. I think that's the main thing I've seen you make. I know the other night I was in there in your stream and you were making it was a mushroom, and I think you're doing now a channel point redeem. I think you call them stitches, where people can choose little characters or little things to sit on top of your headphones, the headphone thing. Yeah. They're also the one that the other week they had made for their nephew a birthday gift. You asked him if what was his favorite animal, and he said a cat. No, a dragon. No, a cat riding a dragon. It was so adorable. So adorable. She crocheted a little kitty cat sitting on top of a dragon, and just the colors were I love the colors. I was in love with the color yarn, especially for the dragon. But yeah, definitely check out Maislin Crochet. Great channel. He is now named the dragon Winter, and the cat is Daisy. Aww, that's so sweet. Lumberjack, I'm keeping up on chat. Lumberjack's lady's doing all right. Just trying to make some solid progress on the sweater. Yes, earlier, I'm losing my voice. Lumberjack's lady posted in my Discord. Yes, I have a Discord. If you're not part of the Discord, if you want, you can join the Discord. It's ! Discord, like everybody usually has that command. They're working on their first knit sweater not in the round. It's really, really good progress that you have made. Doing all right, trying, okay. Having a fabulous weekend. Yeah, the weekend's pretty good here. Tired and having a good game with the pals. Oh, I'm all off on my chat. I'm all out of order, but I've always been out of order. So is Sue, which I'm assuming Mom and Sue are playing video games together. And hey, Clay Nico, how are you? I saw the picture of the book that you purchased today. That's what happens when you lose your nut. Yeah, that is going to bother me. It's around here somewhere. I didn't frog it. Maybe when I go to ad break. Actually, I just turned my head and saw it. I found it. So this was my sample. The one I made on stream last night, I ended up frogging because it was horrible. So I'll end up showing this a little bit better. My sample is really nice, really great. I think it's the type of yarn I used. What was I going to say? Oh, Clay Miko, you sent me the picture of something you bought today. She found a book, and let me go and I'm not going to share the picture, but I'm going to say what is it called? The Crochet Answer Book: Solutions to every problem you'll ever face, answers to every question you'll ever ask. So, be kind of interesting to actually thumb through it and to see what was in the book. And even I don't have all the answers. I don't know if anybody has all the answers. What the acorn is cute? Yeah, it is super adorable, and that's what I showed how to make it. But the one I made, I used cotton yarn, and the hook was probably too big, and also cotton yarn doesn't have fluff to it. Doesn't have, what's the word? Body to it, I guess. And you can easily, and I use cotton yarn frequently on stream so you can see the stitches, you as viewers. But I should have used a smaller hook for the cotton yarn. But this was done with just simple acrylic scraps. So, you'll bring it over to me. No doubt you're going to bring it over to me so I can look at it. Alrighty, so we are now entering our third week into the forest. And this week we're going to encounter some critters. So our first critter we're going to meet is Mr. Owl. We're going to do an owl and a squirrel. You see that they're sitting next to each other. We'll do the squirrel second. But we're going to do Mr. Owl. With Mr. Owl, I actually worked on this. I've made another one in addition to this. I made, and I still have to post it on the Discord. I made, what's it called? A blanket for Project Linus. I am losing my voice. For Project Linus, and it was the camo. Hey there, Crafting Sam, how are you? It was the camo blanket that I was working on, and I made some woodland animal appliques, and the owl was one of them. So I have one of these on the blanket, and then this is my second one, and then tonight I'm going to make a third. Excuse me. I'm not getting sick. I think it's just changing weather. It's just losing my voice. I'm not scratchy or anything. I need to take a cough drop, so excuse me. Yes, this is super adorable. Both of the owl and the squirrel tonight, they are from the YouTube channel Maria's Blue Crayon. If you want to see the original source, again, these are not my patterns. If you want to see the original source for the owl, type in !owl. That will be the link, the YouTube link for the cute little owl. The only thing that I changed, that I did differently, was I actually crocheted the nose and the legs. In the video, they basically say do a couple stitches, like I guess embroidery stitches for the nose and then for the feet. Well, I wanted actual dimensional feet. So that was my little contribution to it. And then I did a couple simple little embroidery stitches to indicate feathers. Super cute, relatively easy. So that's what we're going to work on tonight. And it's great. Appliques are great for using up scraps. And you can do whatever color you want because owls come in different colors. You can do a snowy owl. You can do a darker brown owl. I mean, if you wanted to do bright pastel colors, they don't have to be natural looking. You could do a pink owl. I mean, it's your creation. Excuse me. The owl itself is a oh my goodness. I come back to streaming and now I can't talk. The owl itself is 4 rounds. So it's a quick project. It's not going to take forever. So we're going to do a magic circle. Working on my green pumpkin now. I'm a lot faster at it now that I made one. Yeah, I've been drinking. It's not necessarily I need a drink. It's just changing weather here. It's starting to get cooler, and it's just affecting my voice to be a little scratchy. I also did take a really good nap today. If you ever, I don't know if in your part of the world, if it gets hot, and then when it starts to cool off, and it's like that cozy, I don't know how to describe it, that cozy feeling where you just want to snuggle up, and you're not really sleepy, but the thing is, I was cuddled up in bed. My plan was not to fall asleep, but anytime I lay down, even if lay my head down, I'm like those old, they probably have them now, the baby dolls that where you lay them down, their eyes shut. That's me. My head lays down, and my eyes shut, and I go to sleep. I know a lot of people are going to tell me to shut up because they have trouble. They always have trouble falling asleep. Sorry. My nose has been running. It's been raining nonstop in Texas for like 5 days. Yeah, I've got a friend in the Houston area, and he said it's been raining. I was chatting with on camera the other day, and it was raining. Like bands of rain every 5-10 minutes or so. They'd get a bunch of rain. But you guys were having a lot of heat and didn't have rain for a while. So you guys do need the rain. Alrighty, let's see if I can power through this. We're going to start with a magic circle. And I'm going to chain 1. And then into the magic circle, we're going to do 10 half double crochets. I'm not going to count them out since my voice is a little hoarse. Even though we're doing an owl, my voice is hoarse. Bad joke. So we're doing 10 half doubles. 2, and 10. Okay, we've got our 10 half doubles. Yep, a little hoarse. And there is the link. Oh, sorry it's not clickable. Oh, I know what I did. Hold on a second. I didn't put a space where I should have put a space. There we go. Oh, Sue, thank you for the gift sub to Llama. Wow, thank you very, very much. You're looking up scarf patterns. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a scarf. But I fixed the link for the owl now, so when it comes up, or if you do the command, it's not going to, it's going to make it a clickable link and not the youtube.html. Llama! Thank you for the sub to Sue Llama. Wow. You guys are too generous. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. So now you're both subbed. So I'm going to slip stitch to my first stitch. I'm going to pull this completely tight when I get further along. That's usually how I do it. Some people tighten it up now. I usually do it at the end. Okay, so round number 2, we're going to chain 2, and each stitch is going to get a half double crochet. So I'm just going to make certain I have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, each stitch is going to get 2 half doubles. And I'm going to put a stitch marker in my first of the round. So I've already made 2. So you're just making a circle. So you're going from round 1 has 10, round 2 is going to have 20. So each is just doubling up. Simple increase into every stitch. This is a good project if you want to practice making circular patterns. And the yarn I'm using, it's acrylic, but it's got a little bit of flecks of like some grays and blacks, and there might be some golds in it. So it reminded me of like owl feathers. At least the owl feathers that I've seen, or the owls that I've seen in my area. Alrighty, I'm going to double check to see that I have 20 for that round. Yep, I got 20. So I'm just going to slip stitch where my stitch marker is. Remove the stitch marker. And that is round number 2. So round number 3, I'm going to chain 2. And then the first stitch is going to get a half double crochet. And the second stitch is going to get 2 half double crochets. So I've already done 3. I'm going to mark my first stitch. And that's the repeat. Again, simple circle. First round had 10, second round has 20. Now the third round is going to have 30 stitches. So the first stitch gets 1 half double, the second gets 2, and so on. One and 2. And number 2, there's 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1, and this one should get 2. I'm going to double check to see I have 30 for this round. 30. So, don't even really need a pattern, per se, for this portion, because you're just doing a circle. I'm going to remove my stitch marker. Now I will tighten up the center, and I'll weave that in at the end. So that's all we've done. Real basic. Okay, round 4 is we're going to chain 2, and we're going to half double crochet in the first 4 stitches. Okay. I got to double. There is a false stitch, so let me just find the false stitch real quick, because I don't want to add too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16, 17, 30. Okay. So right where I joined, that is not the first stitch. This is the first stitch. So the first 4 stitches will get half doubles. Number 2, 3, and 4. So on round 4, the first 4 get half doubles. The next stitch gets a single. And then we're going to put 2 single crochets in every stitch all the way around, except for the last 4 stitches. So before I do that, I'm going to find my last 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 4th one I'm going to mark. Because in that 4th one, we're going to do, those last 4, we're going to do something different. So again, we're going to chain 2. The first 4 stitches each get a half double. The next stitch gets a single. And then all of the other ones, except for the last 4 in the round, are going to get 2 singles each. At least that's how. Wait, is that how I did that? I got to double check to make certain. I think the pattern is written wrong. Okay. Forget that part. We're still going to mark the last 4 stitches. The last 4, we're going to do something special. All of the rest are each going to get 1 single. And I'm like, that's going to be too many stitches. So the first 4 get half doubles. Starting at the 5th and all the way around, each get a single. The last 4, we're not going to do singles in those. Yeah, I got to fix that pattern, how that pattern is written. So we just do singles all the way around until we get to our stitch marker. We're not going to put a single in that stitch marker, because that where the stitch marker is the 4th stitch. Alrighty, I've got to my stitch marker. I'm going to remove the stitch marker because that is the 4th stitch, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 stitches here. Each of those last 4 stitches are going to get a half double. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to join to our first half double that we have right there. So it's not a perfect circle. It's going to be slightly, ever so slightly off, because those 8 stitches are half doubles. You got 4 on one side of the join and 4 on the other. And that is the body of the owl. Now we're going to do the ears. Let me double check something. Is that how we did that? 5th stitch to the right. Yeah. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to chain 1 here. I'm going to leave a tail and cut and pull through. I'm not going to weave that in yet because I need to know where this middle part is, where that joint is. With the same color, to the right of the join, this is going to be the top of the head, to the right of the join, we're going to count back 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in that 5th stitch, that's right there, we're going to put a single crochet. I'm going to put a standing single. I'm going to mark that just so I don't have to count it again. So I'm going to start with a standing single crochet. And in that 5th stitch, put the standing. So we got a stitch there. And then in the next 2 stitches are each going to get a single. So those first 3. So again, we're counting from the join 5 back. 1, 2, 3 are each going to get a single. And now we're going to chain 1. And in the last 2, we're going to do single crochet 2 together. Wait, what? Wrong. The way the pattern's written. Believe me, I've done this. I've done this twice. Okay. I need to put in there, I got to turn. Okay. That's what I forgot. So we did, from the join, we counted back 5 stitches. From the join, counted back 5 stitches. And that's the first 3 stitches. We're each going to put a single. Yeah, we fixed it. Thank you, Lumberjack. So we got our 3 stitches. Now we're going to chain 2. No, chain 1. We're going to chain 1 and turn. And then these 3 stitches here, 1, 2, 3, we're on the back side. We're going to do a single crochet 3 together. So we're going to go, we've chained 1 and turn, go into the first one, bring up a loop, 2 on the hook, go in the second one, bring up a loop, 3 on the hook, go in the third one, bring up a loop, 4 on the hook, yarn over and go through all 4, chain 1, and we're going to cut, pull through, and cinch it up, and you'll be able to weave that in. Weave in these ends, those are for the ear. That, and we're flipping it back over to the front. That is our first ear. Now, we're back onto the front side, and we're going to find our join again. That's the center of the top of the head. We're going to count 3 stitches over. 1, 2, 3, and then that third stitch, I'm just going to put a stitch marker. I'm going to put another standing single crochet. So I'm going to put that in there and do a standing single. And then the next 2 stitches are each going to get a single. So I've got 3 stitches. Again, the first one is the third one in from the center of the head. The join for where we did the round, the full round, is the center. So we got our 3 stitches, chain 1 and turn, and now we can do our single crochet 3 together. So we're going from 3 stitches down to 1, all in one row. So you go into the first, bring up a loop, 2 on the hook. In the second, bring up a loop, 3 on the hook. And in the third, bring up a loop, 4 on the hook. Hoot, hoot, yep. 4 on the hook, yarn over through all 4, chain 1, and I'm going to cut, pull through, and cinch up. Flip it back over. And there, that is all we're doing for the head and the ears. What I'm going to do now, so I don't have all these tails everywhere. Thank you, Nor Fairy, for the gift sub to Claymiko. Y'all are too generous tonight. So, we've got all these tails. So all 6 tails can be weaved in. And how are you, Norfairy? I know you and Clay Miko went to Runfest today. Want to cheer you up? Just want to cheer you up the sad green. I didn't do the sad green. Oh, you wanted to cheer up the sad green. Oh. Here's your friend Norfairy. He's the human pink or human. Not a human. He's a yarn pincushion, or Llama would say very punk. Very punk. For those of you who don't know the origin story, did you send him to the Cenobites? I don't know what that means. No wonder he was sad before the all the safety pins. If anybody doesn't know the origin story for that was last winter. Oh, it's a Hellraiser. I've never seen. I mean, I know what Pinhead. I think that's his name. I know what he looks like, but I've never seen the movie or movies or. Those who don't know the origin story, last Christmas, I was making yarn gnome Christmas ornaments, and that color green was one of the one that was used, I think, for the hat or something. And Norfairy was in here and referred to it as a sad-looking shade of green. So ever since then, that has become one of the quotes. I think that was the very first sound command. I think that was my very first sound command. So sad green's always going to have a special place here on the Crafty Cubs stream. Okay, I checked all of my sound commands before I went live, and they all worked for me. So I don't know why it's not working. Let me check on my end. Okay, it worked on my end. There might be something, and I don't know how to figure it out, something wrong with Streamlabs Chatbot. That's the application I use for my all my audio commands. And I usually check them, each one, and I've probably got however many, got about maybe 10, and they all worked. So I don't know, maybe it's, and they're all set to where anybody can use them. I mean, there is a cooldown between the same command, so you can't spam the same command over and over. But who knows? So I'm just weaving in my ends of this yarn for the owl, and there we got it now. It could be a bear. Right now it could be anything because it's just little simple ears. But when we put the details on it, that's what makes it an owl. Now we're going to do the eyes, and I'm going to make 2 white circles. Again, you can make them whatever color you want. The internet is a mysterious place. Oh, it is definitely a mysterious place. So I'm finished with my body color. So I'm done with that one. And then, again, this doesn't take that much yarn. It's great to get rid of your scraps. So for the eyes, we're going to make 2 of them. And all the eyes are lumberjack. I love the color of the sweater. Yes. Yes. When we're done the owl, we finish the owl, I'm going to pull up some things in Discord. And I haven't posted the pictures of the blankets I'm donating to Project Linus, but I have pictures of them. And I'll share those. And then at some point, I'll put those in the Discord. So for the eyes, you're going to make 2 of them. All it is a magic circle, chain 1, 6 single crochets into the ring. That's all the eyes are. It's a 1 round. So chain 1 and then just 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll pull that snug, slip stitch into the first one. Wait, did I go around twice? Oh, no, I was wrong. It's actually 2 rounds. We are going to go around twice. You're going to chain 1, and then each stitch is going to get 2. I mean, you could do small little eyes. Should I do small little eyes? What do you guys think? Should the second one be large eyes? Or do 2 small ones? I'd have to make a little bit smaller nose, maybe. Thanks, the picture's foggy, but it's more maroon. It's going to be a Weasley sweater. Oh, wow. Harry Potter fan. You like the large eyes? You like the large eyes? Okay. It's easy to do. I mean, all we're doing is a simple circle. 1, 2, whoops. 2, 3, and 4. And this is the way I keep track. And again, I know you really can't see the white too much because it does wash out. 1 eye and 1 large and 1 little. We can do 1 of each. The way I keep track. Okay, we'll do that. The second one I'll make a small one. He could be winking. The way I keep track when I'm increasing, if I want to keep a circle, I know in this round, everything gets 2. So in the stitch, I do 1 and 2. Anytime I say the word and, they're going in the same stitch. It's just something I say to keep in my mind so I know what the repeat is. Like if I was on the 3rd round, the first one would get 1. And then the stitch would get stitch number 2 and number 3. Anytime I say and, means they're in the same thing. That's just something I came up with. Yes, that face. We could do that. It's art. There are no real rules. There's guidelines. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So there is our 1. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to leave somewhat of a long tail, because that long tail is what we're going to use to stitch it down. So I'm going to cinch up the center, and I will weave in the center tail. We're not going to really need the center tail, the center one anymore. We are going to need the outer one. Little razzle dazzle, like the Pirates Parlay. Yep. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so there's our large eye, and now we're going to make. Well, that's fine. I got this. When I told you scraps, this was the little scrap ball. So you don't need much for these little appliques. So this one we're just going to make small. So I'm going to chain 1. Yarn barf. Yeah, well this is more like yarn spittle. There's hardly any there. So I'm just going to do 6 into the magic ring. Yes, that's a new term I just came up with. Yarn spittle. Okay, so I'm going to join. I'm going to chain 1, leave tail, pull through, pull that tight, and I'm going to pull my magic ring tail real small. And I'm going to weave in the center. Okay. It's almost done with the hood for the ghost-faced robe. Right now it looks like a black traffic cone. Yeah, you were making, what did you say that the ghost-faced was again? Was it? I forgot what the actual project was. Alright, we're done with the white for this project. I'll put that little bit away. You were making the head. Okay, gotcha. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to place the... Who's all here tonight? Can we do a roll... Wait, we want roll call? Well, I can look up real quick. Look up who's here. Who it's showing is here. You want roll call? We've got Clay Miko. We've got Grammy. Some of these I think are bots. And some are just lurking. I know Becca Lane, they usually lurk. They've been in a lot of people's channels. The ones I know, Llama, Knots and Stitches, Lady J0719, Sue, Lumberjack's Lady, Maislin Crochet, I think is lurking, and Snoopy Skellingtons. I didn't know we needed a roll call. Those are the ones I recognize. There's other names in here I don't recognize. Either they might be bots or new people. So that's why I didn't call anybody out, any of those other ones out. Yeah, those emotes are, I don't know where Dino Dance is from. I don't know if that is, see, the way that those emotes work, some are free that you get, and yeah, some are free, and then other ones are subscriber emotes, meaning if they are a subscriber to other channels, they can use those emotes that they're subscribed to in any other stream. But that's only if they're a subscriber to it. They're like special perks that they get for being a sub. I don't know how to make emotes. I don't know how any of that type of thing. I don't even really use emotes that much. Even the ones that are Twitch emotes. If Grammy is around, Lumberjack's Lady is asking where you are. They're also asking if you're distracted by a fireman. That is a reference to an earlier stream where she said that Grammy said that she would that day that she had her hands in a fireman's pants. That's what she said. And if you all know Grammy, you know what that means. If I remember the email correctly, the Dancing Dino was the first free Twitch animated emote. Okay. And that was the second. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm not all up on my emotes. Yes, you heard us correctly. It's nothing sexual. It's nothing dirty. Well, it can be dirty, but it's all good. Okay, so Sad Green's going to help me tonight. Sad Green, I need to borrow. I don't have any small ones in here. I need some of your safety pins, Sad Green. I need 2 of them. I'm going to use the safety pins to help me position my weird eyeballs. If they were both the same size, yes. Good old. Let's put Sad right there. Okay, they're helping me today. So, if they were the same size, I can kind of eyeball it, of where they would go, which I still am. I do want the left one to be more to the left, but I'm just going to pin it down to that. And then we got our little one. That's gonna look weird, but I like it. And I don't know, this may or may not work. The safety pin might be too long, but I think we'll get it. Alrighty. So I've pinned them in place. I kind of like that placement of where they are. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the long tail and stitch around to stitch it on. I'm not worried what the back is going to look like, because most likely this will be applied to something and you won't see the back. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. Some people go Grammy is spicy. Some people will do a whip stitch, and I don't know how well this is going to show up. Let me show you what a whip stitch is. This is a good time to show off some embroidery stitches. So a whip stitch, our tail is coming out of the side here, and you're going to go just outside of the white of the eye and go down like this, and then come up in the eye, in the eyeball, in the white of the eye, and you're going to wrap it around the edge of the white applique. You could do that. That's one way of doing it. I have to go put the little one to bed. Okay, we'll be here. Or the other way, the way I like to do it is stay just inside the edge of the applique, which is the white part. Again, I don't know what's showing. And I'm not going to go over around the outside of it. I'm just going to go into my crocheted stitches and just stitch right along that edge. I don't really need the safety pin right now because I can hold it in place. And I'm just going up and down, doing a running stitch where you go up through both layers, you go over a little, down through both layers, and you just continue that. A real simple stitch. That's usually how I like it, because the way I like the finished crocheted edge of like the crocheted stitches to be the finished edge on the outside. There's all different ways that you can use to stitch them down, and then afterwards you can even go back. We will be here, but your nuts may be missing in action. Now that I found my nut, you can get real intricate with some of these decorative stitches. That's kind of like the fun part of these appliques, is embellishing them. That might be something. I think that's something we might end up starting in January after the holidays. We might do a little bit of we're still going to crochet. We're obviously always are going to crochet. That is going to be the core of the channel, I think. But I think in January, we might break out some embroidery stuff. We might just play around with some interesting, unique, decorative stitches. It's been years since I've done any type of embroidery. I've done a little bit here and there. And not just cross stitch. Cross stitch is kind of in the family, but I mean more decorative, like the satin stitch and the lazy daisy stitch, and I can't think of off the top of my head right now the buttonhole stitch. So there's all different. The herringbone stitch. There's all different ones. I think that's what we might do. We might play around. We might pick a day of the week to do some embroidery stuff. I'll do like a basic how-to, and then we'll come up with something. I might just do a free-form project where there is no pattern. Just make something. We're going to have a ad coming up in a few seconds. So don't go anywhere. When I get back, we're going to do more embellishments on Mr. Owl. Welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody had a good little break. While I was on break, I got something to drink and was eating a little snack. What's everyone's favorite little snack to eat while they're either playing a game, or they're crafting, or watching TV, or watching YouTube? I don't really watch TV. Watch a lot of YouTube and Twitch. Watch a lot of Twitch. My go-to snack tonight is crunchy Cheetos. And before I came back to stream, I had to wipe off that Cheeto dust. I like the crunchy Cheetos more than I like the puffed baked ones. I like that crunch. And I think they have more of a cheesy Cheeto flavor than the puffed ones do. Dried cantaloupes. I've never heard of drying cantaloupe. I guess you could do it. Candied pecans. Oh, I love pecans of any type. Oh, I knew Grammy was gonna say those lemon Oreos. Welcome, Grammy. If Seagame was here, he'd be right there with you. I like those too. But yeah, I'm more of a. I'm gonna say Cheetos is a dangerous game. Yeah, Cheetos is a dangerous game. I'm more of a salty snack. I mean, I like some of the sweet stuff, but if I have my choice between the two, I tend to more of a savory, saltier snack type person. Okay, we're gonna add some character. Sucker for chocolate, yes, yes. One of Well, you're in Europe, so your chocolate is probably going to be a lot better than our chocolate. We can get some good chocolate here, but most average American chocolate, it really isn't that good. I have a hot Cheeto Puffs, but I ain't touching them right now because I'm dealing with wet yarn. Yeah, that's why I had to make certain I had to wipe all the Cheetos dust. Found a recipe. Okay, I think Grammy is going to shut down the stream. She just said something. Found a recipe for lemon velvet cake. Yeah. Like, yeah. Okay. Forget about the crochet. Let's talk about this lemon velvet cake. That sounds really, really good. The other year I found a recipe for these lemon cookies, which is kind of like a lemon cookie they used to have back in the 80s, back when I was a kid. So, yeah. Alrighty. That sounds really, really good. Alright, we're going to add some personality to our owl. I'm now going to be working on. The killer is it's 3 layers and it's lemon cream cheese frosting. You're killing me, Grammy. You're killing me. The other week, you scared me with the gong, and now you're killing me with this cake. Found a recipe for some lemon cookies with a licorice surprise heart. Might make them next week. Yeah, you had mentioned that you people in Finland like a lot of licorice. I don't know about the licorice. Again, I'm not a licorice fan, but no, I get it if that's a popular flavor. Yeah, a taste tester. She needs a lot of taste testers. All right, we're gonna try to make the beak and feet of our owl. Now, if you're following along on the original YouTube video, or I think it's also a blog, the feet and the tail are just embroidered stitches. So, what I'm working on now for the feet, not feet and tail, feet and beak, are my own creations. So, the beak is real super simple. It's probably the simplest thing here. You're going to put a slip knot. You're going to chain 3. Second from the hook, put a single crochet. And then the next chain, put a single crochet. And then you're going to chain 1, turn, and then do a single crochet. Chain 1, cut a long tail, pull through. Your beak is done. You kind of just made a little triangle thing that we will stitch on. If you're in the neighborhood, come on by. Why you got to be on the other side of the globe? Need a comfy chair to sit in while I crochet. We got comfy chairs here if you want to sit and crochet and taste some lemon cake when Grammy makes it. Alright. So I'm just going to place it wherever I think it should be, which obviously would be between the eyes. And I'm leaving both tails. And I'm just going to stitch it on wherever and however you want to stitch it. And I'm just going to go around and that tail's getting kind of long, kind of short, so I'm just going to switch over to the other one. You can obviously do your beak however you want to do your beak. A hooker retreat, yep. That would be kind of funny if somebody had a hooker retreat, for a crochet retreat, and called it the hooker retreat at the brothel. Okay, my beak's a little weird. That would be funny. Only for those crocheters, all of us crocheters, and those that are like-minded who don't get offended by that type of humor, because there are crocheters and crafters who would find offense in referring to ourselves as hookers. Alright, I'm just going to weave this in once. I'm not going to do a real weaving. Again, it's a sample, and so you can do, mine's a little crooked, a little longer. This one I did a little bit better. It was a little neater and tighter with my stitches. But not all beaks, it's nature. It's not all the same. He's got his one eye smaller. He's probably he's seen some things. He's been through it. Okay, now we're going to do the cute little feet. The feet, I think, is my favorite part, and that's not just because I added them. That's my pattern, but they're just cute. I gotta remember how many ones I stitched. 1, 2, 5, yeah. Made a crochet boob for the man. If work gets stressful. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Okay, my pattern for the feet, and you make 2 of them. I'm going to chain up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's funny, but I certainly wouldn't call myself that in front of my family. It would be a little hard to convince them that I'm not running in the streets. He saw Grammy encounter a fireman. Yeah, yes. So, my bird feet, because you can use it for any type of bird, I guess. My bird feet pattern is I chain 5. The second chain from the hook, I'm going to do a slip stitch. And in the next chain, I'm going to do a slip stitch. Now I'm going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. Second chain, do a slip stitch. And then the next chain, do a slip stitch. I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. Second chain from the hook, do a slip stitch. The next chain, do a slip stitch. So that makes all these little toes. And then I'm going to slip stitch back into the same stitch I slip stitched into for the first toe. So on our original chain, we had 1, 2, and then we had our other chains that we worked in. The last chain we worked on of that is what we're going to slip stitch into. And now there's 2 chains left. Each of those 2 chains gets a slip stitch. 1 and 2. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to cut my tail long, pull through, and that is my design, my pattern. It's a cross, but you can shape them, and if you stitch them down, you can make them more claw-like. That is my simple little design for a bird foot and leg. I'm going to do that again. Yep. Again, the original pattern just said put a couple little embroidery stitches right on the edge where the foot would be. I'm like, no, I want him to have actual feet and legs. You can always make them longer if you want the legs to be longer. So I'm going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second from the hook gets a slip stitch, and the next one gets a slip stitch. So that's one toe, or one claw, talon, whatever you call them. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Second from the hook gets a slip stitch, and the next one gets a slip stitch. So that is our second little toe. I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Second from the hook gets a slip stitch, and then the next one gets a slip stitch. So when we made the first toe, that stitch we slip stitched into, we're going to slip stitch into again. And that just brings them all together. And then on our original chain, there'll be 2 chains, and you're going to slip stitch in both of those chains. And then I'm going to chain 1, and that's just to lock it from when I weave it. So I'm going to chain 1, leave it on the hook, cut, and then I'm just going to pull it out and pull it tight and leave both tails long. And you found the hooker convention. Yes, we were talking earlier. And welcome, Fairy Dust. We were talking that we need a retreat because we were talking about snacks. Because when we went to Ad, I was eating some crunchy Cheetos, and I asked everybody what their favorite snack would be when they're crocheting, crafting, watching TV, watching YouTube, watching a movie, doing whatever. And Grammy said that she found a recipe for a lemon velvet cake that has, what you said, 3 layers and lemon cream cheese frosting. So we were like, we all need to have a retreat and crochet together and eat yummy food. And I said, wouldn't it be funny if somebody had a crocheting retreat and referred to themselves as hookers and called the retreat the brothel? Hookers and lot lizards invited. So, how are you, Fairy Dust? And the descent into depravity commences. Well, of course. Of course. So I'm ready to put my feet on my owl. So I'm going to flip it over to the back. And approximately wherever you want your feet to go. And I'm going to put it right at the edge, because these are short legs. If you had longer ones, you can obviously make them longer. And I'm going to, we don't need both strands. We could use both to weave it in. It's not really going to matter. Just got home from work, ready for the brothel. Yep. You just got home from work, and then you want to go to the brothel. I see how it is. Okay, I'm just going to hold it here. I'm not going to really pin it down. It's right here at the edge, and there's no right or way of doing this. But when I stitch into it, since I'm on the back side, I only want to go through one layer of the crochet. I don't want it to show through. So this one, you do have to kind of keep that in mind. I'm just going to go through and stitch through it. And I am using 2 strands of that yarn. I should have ended up only using the one. But I wanted both strands to be secure. Not that it would make a difference either way. Alright, that's enough for that one. We're going to clip it. And we're going to do the same thing for the other foot. This time I'm only going to use the one tail. I don't need to have both through there. And I'm just going to put that one right about there. And just go, and again, you don't want it to show through on the front side. We're almost done with the owl. The next two parts of the owl are playing around with some decorative stitches, technically embroidery. Which, like I said, I think we're going to end up doing that come January. We're going to do some fun embroidery. And you can embroider with yarn, embroidery floss, silk, with ribbons, with all different types of things. So our owl is essentially done. We just gotta give him some pupils. And I got a little scrap of black. And when I did the pupils for this one, I just did 2 stitches, just like a straight stitch, come up, went a certain distance and went down, and just did it another time. Just a little bit. It's just a little bitty pissant country place. Nothing much to see. No drinking allowed. We get a nice crowd. Plain as it can be. Just a pity squatting old-time country place. Nothing too high-toned. Lots of goodwill and maybe one small thrill. But there's nothing dirty going on. Is that from the best little whorehouse in Texas? I've never seen it. But I mean, I know of it, obviously. Gotta love Dolly. Gotta love Dolly. So that's just a simple little stitch. What I'm going to do here, and this might look a little weird, and if it looks weird, I can cut it out, and we can change it. I'm going to give this one little beady little eyes. So I'm going to do a French knot. This is kind of like a little preview of when we do embroidery. A French knot is basically a knot that sits on the surface of your fabric. So I'm going to come up in the center where I want the pupil to be. So right in the center. And I'm going to leave on the back side a little bit of a tail. Okay, so we've come up. And then these take practice to do. And again, you can do this with yarn. You can do this with embroidery floss, with silk, thread. You can do this with ribbon. You can do this with any type of material you have, depending on the medium you're using. So to do a French knot, you're going to take your needle and you're going to lay it right. Grammy going to have to broaden your horizons. She should make you watch. I've seen Fairy Dust. I've seen all 3 of those. I've seen all 3 of the Porky's movies. We're going to lay the needle horizontal to our fabric, and we're going to take the strand that's coming up. We're not going to pull too much because it's not secure. You could do a little knot, a little thing to secure it in there, which I'm not going to. But I'm not going to pull it up too much. And I'm going to wrap the black yarn around the needle 2 times. And I'm going to hold it with my thumb real close, real tight. And I'm going to keep this real tight. And I'm going to go down right next to where I came up. And I'm going to keep all those wraps together. I'm going to hold it with my thumb. Hold the wraps also. And then I'm going to pull through, and it's only going to pull through our excess, and we're not going to pull through the knot. And that's the trick, is trying not to get the knot to go through, which I think I just failed on this one. Maybe. Yeah, I failed on this one. Okay. We're going to redo it. So I'm going to cut that out. We're going to start over. So come up. I'm going to wrap it twice. You can do it 3 times. And I'm going to go down right next to it. And I'm going to pull this snug. So I've got it wrapped around the needle there twice. I'm going to pull through and not get everything tangled on its legs, and pull it through like that. And I fixed it. And now it's a little knot that sits on the surface of your fabric. So it actually looks really good with the small one. I don't know how it's going to work with the larger one. And you're not going to see the back, so I'm just going to travel. And usually that's what happens when you do French knots in traditional embroidery. You will travel around the back. I mean, you can weave it and end it and then start again. It's a pain. So I'm going to pull up through here. And I'm just going to pull it not so tight that the owl's all deformed, but snug. And we're going to do that again for the second one. It might look weird with some beady eyes. I'm going to wrap it twice, go back down right next to it, and hold it. And then we're going to pull through. And his eye might be off a little bit. Just got to kind of get it in position. It doesn't look too bad. And then on the back side, I'm going to just weave it in, just like you normally would, that you would finish off the crochet. And you can, your original tail, you can weave in, you can clip, whatever. I'm just going to leave it there. And those are the eyes. He looks a little derpy. It's okay. We all have that one friend. There's nothing wrong. It's just, they're different. Alrighty. We're going to give him some, we're going to give him some highlights for, give the impression of feathers, like this one has here. I've got this variegated yarn, and it's got some tans and some browns. I'm going to find, I don't know the yarn. I don't think I have the yarn that has this gold in it. I think we're going to use this lighter color. It's like an off-white. Inebriated? Yeah, that might happen. Actually, you know what? We're not going to use that. We're going to use a different yarn. Where did I put... Got to look into my stash here. Yeah, we're going to use this. We're going to use a little bit of this off-white. It's not white, but it's going to be enough of a contrast. Don't need much of it because we're just going to do a couple little stitches. Okay, that one, the part needs to be cut off. So what I'm going to end up doing is, like I have here, I've got 5 little sets. I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to start in the middle, right below the beak. And I want little triangles that kind of point up to give the hint of a feather. So I'm just going to go right about midpoint, pull up, leave a bit of a tail on the back, and then one leg of the V, it's like an upside down V, just however long you need it, pull it down, and then I'm going to do the other one right about here. And you're just forming these little I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but we got a little V, an upside down V. Now, you just make the next one wherever you want it. So I'm going to roughly about here. So I'm going to do this, put it right about there. We don't want them to be molting. Yeah, we don't want any molting. And there's that. And these might be different sizes, but that's okay. So there's that. It's another little, just a hint. And then my third one is going to be right under the eye. And I'm trying to go through the stitch of the crochet, not in the hole necessarily. Just so it kind of anchors a little bit more. You could start at one side. I just wanted to make certain they were centered. So that's why I started here in the middle. And then do my third little group here. So I got my 3. You can put them wherever you want. And I'm not going to cut and start over. I'm just going to go over and do the middle one on this side. This is kind of the fun part, adding the details. Just don't want him, strands getting caught on his feet. And then one more right about here. Oh, I need to pull that up because it kind of sunk down in there a little bit. You didn't really see it. Okay, that one didn't really form a V, but that's okay. This feather got a little ruffled over there. And then you weave them in. The back is going to be ugly, but most likely you're going to be applying it. That's why it's called an applique. You're going to apply it to something. So you can add other things to it if you want to make a little hat for them, if you want to give them some personality. So those are your little cute little owl friends. I like this one better, but pretty basic to do. Not too difficult. Alrighty. I'm gonna move my schnibbles to the side and put my, that can go in the schnibble pile. Put that in there. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick little break. I need to fill up my drink, and then we will transition over to the squirrel. Our owl's gonna get a little rodent friend. I think they're rodents. Anyway, I'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. I had to get refill on my drink. Lately, I've been drinking half lemonade, half iced tea. Arnold Palmer, hot half and half. It's like so refreshing. Love it. So we're going to be doing our little squirrel. And tonight's squirrel is going to be a gray squirrel, because where I live, most of the squirrels are gray, not brown. But he's a cute little squirrel. His little arms are not stitched down. You can stitch them down if you want, but it's like a little puppet. Okay, I'm crazy. So, this is also a pattern by Maria's Blue Crayon on YouTube. I think they also have a blog. And that acorn is about the size of his body. So he's got it. There you go. I don't have, for the gray one, I don't have any gray eyelash yarn. I had the brown. I don't have the gray. So he's going to be gray. My new one that I'm going to make is going to be gray with a tan tummy. And then his tail is going to be made out of this. It's got some fuzz to it. It's not as fuzzy, but it's got all different colors, grays and tans in it. So this is I don't know what this is made out of. There might be some mohair. No, it's actually a nylon or a polyester, but it is silky on parts of it. So that was what his tail, the new one's tail will be. You can do it in regular plain yarn too. Alright, move the acorn. We're going to move Mr. Squirrel. And we're going to start with the head. So, what gray do I want to use? Those are the same, those are the same. I think I want to do that medium gray. I don't want the darker, the lighter one. And I'm just going to use this little ball and move the tan out of the way. Alrighty, so we're going to hope he doesn't bust. Yeah, if he eats that, okay, he's going to have to eat part of that and save the rest for the winter, because that's enough to feed probably a few of these little squirrels. Or he can share it with his gray friend that I'm going to be making. Alrighty, we're going to make the head of the squirrel first. We're going to chain 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and each of them all the way down. So you'll end up having 6 singles. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to do single crochet 2 together. So you go into the first, bring up a loop, 2 on the hook, go into the next, bring up a loop, 3 on the hook, yarn over through all 3. We're going to single crochet in the next 2. 1, and then the second, and then the last 2 is single crochet 2 together. In 1, 2 on the hook, into the second, bring up the loop, 3 on the hook, yarn over through that. So we went from 6 stitches down to 4. Beginning and end, we just did a simple decrease. Mom had attended a plant dye course this week. Sent me some pictures of the yarn that they dyed. Oh, wow. Very, very cool. Oh, yeah, I didn't do that. When we're done with the squirrel, I'll show pictures of the donation blankets. We were going to donate them yesterday. They ended up canceling the meeting, but by the time we got there, we didn't know that. So, we'll have to donate them another time. But I have pictures of them. So row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to single crochet into each stitch. So you'll have 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So dyeing yarn, I've never dyed yarn before. It interests me, but I don't think I would ever do it because it's messy. And depending on which one what type of yarn you have and the chemicals, and you need to keep all that separate. You can't use them for food, and I'll stick with crocheting and prepping yarn to spin. I don't know about the dyeing. I've only used industrial dyes, yeah. Now, if it's like a Kool-Aid type thing, I could do that. I wouldn't have problem using the Kool-Aid or drink mix or whatever. Also you can, and this is for natural fibers, obviously. You can also use the packages of Easter egg dye, the little dye pellets. It's all food coloring. If I have to change the property to get into weaving again, I would love to do hand-painted yarn. Oh, wow. Yeah, the hand-painted yarns are... Oh, hand-painted warps. Oh, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. Oh, a chance. Gotcha. After Easter, if you live in an area, I mean, not every place does this, but I know a lot of places in we do have similar, words that are spelled similar, very similar. Buy up after Easter, the clearance Easter egg dyeing kits, and save all the little colored pellets that they use. You can use those to dye yarn. Okay, so that was round number 3. So round number 4, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to single crochet 2 together. So single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet 2 together one more time. So now we're down to 2 stitches. Chain 1 and turn, and now we're going to single crochet 2 together, and we've gone down to 1 stitch. And now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet around the head. So we're going to go up this side of the triangle. So each row is going to get a single crochet basically. I just didn't do that right. But yeah, hand painted yarn is very pretty. Now we're back up to our original chain we started. And in this corner, we're going to put 2 singles. Okay, into the first stitch of the row, and the next stitch working the following for the ears. We're going to do the ears now. So in the next stitch, we're going to single crochet, chain 3, and in the same stitch do a single crochet. The next 2 stitches are going to get a single, so in the middle. This stitch, we're going to do a single, chain 3, and in the same stitch do a single. And in our very last stitch, we're going to put 2 singles. We just made the ears. So we're finishing up the top of the head. If I can find where to put the hook, I'm just going to put it right in there. That's good. 1 and 2. And now we're going to work down the other side of the face, and they're each just going to get a single crochet pretty much every row, working into the sides of the stitches. And in the bottom, just do 1 right there. And then chain 1, cut a decent size length of tail, pull through. That is our squirrel head. So there's its nose, there's its ears. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to weave in my ends. I'm not going to apply this one to anything. That's what you could do for the owl. You can leave the tail for the body long and use that to stitch it onto whatever you're going to stitch it onto. or you can get another strand. But this is just going to be a sample. Cut all of that, move the schnibbles, and there is the squirrel's head. So we're going to set that to the side. We're now going to do its body, and the body I am going to do tan, because they tend to have a slightly different color belly. If it was really the ones that are here, they're more of an off-white belly, but in my world, this belly's going to be tan. So for his belly, we're going to put a slip knot on the hook and chain 4. Second chain from the hook, do a single crochet, and then the rest of it will be singles. So you're going to have 3. So you're going to single on the first one and single on the next 2. So that will be 3 stitches right there. Chain 1 and turn, and then each stitch gets a stitch. So we're going to do 3 more for this row. Row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to put 2 singles in the first stitch. 1 and 2, we're doing a simple increase. The next stitch gets 1 single, and then the last stitch gets 2 singles, so another simple increase. We've gone from 3 stitches to now 5. Row 4, chain 1 and turn. Each stitch, there's 5 there, each stitch will get a stitch. So we're going to have 5 at the end of this row. When we get to the end, the row will have 5. 2, 3, 4, and number 5. Alrighty, so rows 5 and 6 are going to be the same as row 4. So we're going to chain 1, each stitch is going to get a stitch. So this is row 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 stitches for row 5. Chain 1, turn, and do the same thing for row 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're making its belly. It's getting wider. Row number 7, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to do a single crochet 2 together. So we decreased. The next one gets 1 single crochet, and then the last 2 stitches is single crochet 2 together. So 1, and then 2, and we have reached, this is the bottom of the belly. We start at the top. Now we're going to switch to our head color. We're going to actually go around and do the outline of the squirrel. So I am going to cut my tail there. I'm going to switch to my gray. I'm just going to pull it through. There's no real right or wrong way to do this. And I'm going to chain 1. I need to pull that brown down a bit. And all the way around, wherever I can get it, I'm going to do a single crochet all the way around. Just try to keep it even. And in the, when you get up here to this corner thing, if you need to put an extra one to turn the corner, that's fine. Yeah, I'm going to put a little extra in the corners just to ease it around. I split that yarn. Happens a lot. This is also, the yarn might have been used and frogged a couple times, so it's probably lost some of its twist. Okay, I've gone all the way around. We've got this rectangular, somewhat rectangular shape. And then we're going to chain one, cut our tail, and pull through. And now we can weave in our ends. That was our body. The next things that we're going to do is we're going to make its arms and its tail. Okay, the grain's already been weaved in. I don't know how I got two tails down there. Not the same, but that's what we got. That. And I'm just weaving them, however. It's not that important. Okay. There's our head and our body. Put you to the side. We're going to do the paws, or the arms. And these are pretty simple. We're going to chain 4. And then we're going to slip stitch into the first chain, pull through, and then just chain 1, cut our tail, pull that through, tighten up, weave it in. That is your paw. I'm only going to weave in 1 because the other tail is what I'm going to use to stitch it to the body. You don't even have to do an actual crochet stitch for the paws. They're just chains. So there's the one. You can shape it into a paw shape. And now I'm going to make the other one. 2, 3, 4. Slip stitch. Like that. Chain 1. Cut. Pull through. Tighten. And now weave this one in. I'm going to attach the paws to the body right now. And you can put them, actually, I'm going to do the head first. I should have left the tail to attach the head, but that's all right. And we'll do the tail, the squirrel's tail last. I'm going to attach it right here on this side. So I'm going to position where I want it, and it's going to overlap, and I'm not going to stitch down the nose. I'm just going to stitch down the head to the body. And I'm actually going to stitch right across. It's the same color, so you're not going to really see any of it. It's okay, Squirrel, my head isn't attached either. Well, this squirrel's getting its head attached. This squirrel is getting its head sewn on correctly, so there is that. And I'm just going to go back a couple stitches just to secure it. So mine is, but it's full of trash. So his nose is free, because we're going to end up putting some detailing on the nose in a little bit. I'm just going to weave in my tail. Now we're going to put the paws on. And you can put the paws wherever you want. I mean, obviously, if you want to make an extra pair to do actual feet, you can do that also. This one's kind of sitting, like, with his feet all hidden. So you're not going to see it. And again, you can stitch down the paws. I'm just going to attach it to where they naturally would be, like the arm to the body. But the little claws or fingers or whatever are not going to be attached. Mainly memes, music, video games, and they're pretty characters. Yep. So, with mine, it's mostly phrases and taglines from RuPaul's Drag Race. That's what most of, not most, but that's what a lot of the stuff in my head is. Alright, we're going to weave this, stitch this all on, and we're going to add. While we're at add, I'll attach the other arm to his body. I will be right back. Welcome back, everybody. So while we were at our ad break, I added the little paws onto his body. You see, just catching up with chat. Llama says, been enjoying the live symphony music videos from the new area in Genshin. There's just a red bouncy ball in my head, bouncing up and down, going boing, boing, boing. Fairy dust. Is it attached to a string with a wooden paddle? Do y'all remember, though, that toy that was cheap? It was a wooden paddle, and you had to keep however many bounces you can get. Adding to the things above: reptiles, crafts, occasional depression, regular anxiety. Oh, I know about the anxiety and depression. So, we got a tailless squirrel and no eyes and no nose. But we will correct that. So for the tail, I'm going to pair up that fuzzy yarn that's got some browns and tans in it and the same color yarn that his body was in. It would technically look better if it was gray, but this is a mutant. Our owl is kind of derpy. We've got a mutant squirrel. So I'm going to use both together. And I'm going to slip knot, chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. And if you're using anything that has a lot of, like an eyelash yarn, you want to crochet loose or go up a hook size, because they can get in the way. So we got our 3 there, and we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then the next one. So single in the second, in the second from the hook, and then single into the next chain. So we'll have 2 stitches. Chain 1 and turn, and we're going to do single crochet in the next 2. We're going to do that for a total of 8 rows. So we did 1. Give me a teenage mutant hillbilly squirrel. Exactly. So that was row 1. We're going to do a total of 8. So now row 2, and that's all that this is. It's just 8 rows of single crochet, and each row's got 2 in it. So his tail isn't going to be as fluffy as the brown one. So that was row 3. And that's row 4. Row 5. Row 6. And row 7. Again, this may or may not look good, but that's what we're going to have. So that's row number 8. I really don't like it, but cooking up some spaghetti right now. The noodles are boiling and the sauce is simmering. Ooh, we had spaghetti the other week. Really good. Heroes in an oak tree, squirrel power. Oh, God. Interesting. I'll probably make the tail a longer chain and single around both. Yeah, you could do that too. They have a different version. The other version, the other option is you chain 11, 2 singles in the second from the hook, 2 singles in the next, single in the 7 remaining, so you have 13 stitches, turn, chain 1, slip stitch into the next 5, single in the next 2, half double in the next. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's try that. Let's rip this out, and we will try the other version. Yeah. Well, this one here was done the way I just did it, and you don't really see the edges because I guess the eyelash hides all of it. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll try. We're gonna. I've never done. Yep. We ripped it. I've never done this version. Thank you, Llama. So, and again, I'm still going to put both together. And I'm going to chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. 2 single crochets in the second from the hook. So there's 1. And then 2, 2 singles into the next, 1 and 2, and then the next there's 2 singles into that one because it's in the 1 and 2, single in the 7 remaining. There should be 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. 1 single in the next 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7. Chain 1, and they turn. So I'm assuming they're going to work back up the chain. Yeah, we're going to work back on the back side of the chain. Yeah, that's how we're going to do it. Slip stitch into the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3. This yarn is a little slippery. 4 and 5. Single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Yeah, this yarn is it's a tight spot and it's also slippery. Single crochet in the single crochet in the next 2. So there's 1, and we'll single into that. Half double into the next 2 stitches. Yeah, it's going to make a little bit of a wider tail at the end, like a squirrel's tail usually is. Single into the next 2 stitches. Do I have 2 stitches there? I think I do. Single into the next 2. Feeling so nice and relaxed, listening to my favorite music from the current game, watching a stream, and sitting back. Yay! I like those feelings where you just sit back and chill and de-stress. Slip stitch into the last 2 stitches. Oh, I don't have 2 stitches, but I'm going to slip stitch here. Yeah, it's like a club shape. That's how we're going to do it. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to cut my yarn, pull it through, pull it somewhat tight, and I'm going to weave in my ends. Maybe that could be his superpower. If he's a mutant squirrel, his superpower is his tail. Creating backstory for our applique animals. Alrighty. Okay. Now we only got a couple more embellishments to do. We're going to add... Where's the black yarn? Where's my black yarn? I'm going to put his nose on and his eyes. I'm going to do his nose first. I could have done the nose before I attached it to the head to the body, but we can do it now. So on his nose, we're going to go from underneath. I'm going to come up. I'm going to leave a tail. And I'm going to whip stitch like around. So I come up through there and I'm going to go around. And I'm going to whip stitch back up in pretty much the same spot. I'm going to try to catch that tail in that loop to kind of secure it. I'm going to pull it snug, but not too tight where you lose it. I'm going to do this a few times. And each time you wrap it around, it's going to make it a little bit thicker or wider. I'm going to do it probably one more time. Yeah. Oh. Okay, yeah. Now this is going to be the last one. And now this time I'm just going to go through the back of the body to secure it, because I think we're done. And we're just going to move those stitches around wherever we need to cover up to make his little nose. So add a little detail. We're going to trim that tail. That's there. On the back. I'm going to weave it in, but I'm not going to have it show through the front side. Come on. And actually what I can do is I'm not going to even cut my yarn right now. I'm going to use this already attached to do his eyes. So back to the front. And we're going to do French knots again. And right where I think an eye should go, right about there, I'm going to do a French knot. Again, to recap what the French knot is, come from the back where you want the French knot to be. You're going to lay your needle kind of horizontal, and you're going to wrap your yarn or your strand around it, and then you're going to go back in pretty close to where you came out of, and you're going to hold that strand down, and you're going to pull through. There's a concert video for my favorite region too. Be right back. Okay, that's fine. And you're going to pull it and let it just sit right on the surface of the fabric. And that is a French knot. And then you come up to where you want your other one to be. And you do it again. You can wrap it. I wrap it usually 2 times if it's yarn. If it's embroidery floss, which is a thinner thread, I've wrapped it 3 times before. Especially if I'm only using 2 strands at a time of embroidery floss. When we get to doing embroidery and all of that, I'll talk more about embroidery floss. They come in multiple strands, and you don't have to use all the strands together at the same time. It's very rare that you use them all. Faster than a flying squirrel, able to leap tall hickories in a single bound, stronger than a walnut shell. What? Okay, so what is our squirrel's name? There's 2 of them. This one isn't as mutant. And trim that, and he's kind of cute. Now we're going to add the tail. So when I add the tail, I'm going to join it right there on the front, because my joint isn't really the cleanest. So I'm going to join it here on the front. I'm just going to kind of line it up to see where it needs to go. Okay. Come on. I can't even get the... There we go. Couldn't get it through the thing. There's also 2 strands that I'm stitching on. I should have put a squirrel on that blanket that I am going to be donating, which I'm going to share those pictures here soon. And I will post them in the Discord probably sometime tonight. Okay, that's really difficult to get the eye of the needle in all those. Bucktooth Billy. And then what's his friend? It could be a girl, boy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the genders of these squirrels. Bucktooth Billy. And what's the other one's name? I'm trying to move this and manipulate it. It's not really flat, but we can flatten them. Let's zoom on out a little bit. And we'll put the acorn. No, not Nelly. I like it. Soft. I like No Nut Nelly better. Bucktooth Billy and No Nut Nelly. Okay. I guess we have mascots for the stream now. So that is the cute little squirrel applique. If it wasn't so dark and if it would show up better, you can kind of see Nellie's eyes, but she's got her fluffy tail that she uses to seduce Billy. Maybe she's the villain. Maybe she could be the villain. Now we're gonna have, if somebody knows how to do animation, we'll have our own little cartoon. But yep, that's the cute little squirrel applique. And then we did the owls. Let me zoom out. Move the acorn out of the way. Those are the two we did on stream. These are the two we already had. Cute little forest friends. And let me check this real quick. I need to pull open my folder where I've got stuff for Project Linus. Yeah. All right. I'm going to share pictures from the blankets that I am donating, and then I also show the ones that Grammy is going to be donating to Project Linus. Again, if you don't know what Project Linus is, it's a nonprofit here in the U.S. and Canada that accepts handmade new blankets, either crocheted, knitted, quilted, hand-tied, a whole bunch of different types of blankets to children that are in need, ages 0 to 18, either seriously ill, traumatized, homeless, etc. This turned out cute. I'm still here, lurking, crocheting. No, that's fine. That's great. I appreciate the lurk. So, again, I'm going to show the blankets here in a second. But these are both from Maria's Blue Crayon on YouTube, and I think she also has a blog with the written patterns. So, cute little forest friends that you can easily apply to something, which takes me into the blanket. So let's just move this on. Oh, I gotta move the squirrel picture down so it's not over. Wait, what? Wait a minute. Oh. Come on. This isn't my first time streaming. Okay. They're right there, and it's kind of difficult to see because it's so big. That's me behind it holding it up. That is the Woodland blanket. I think the pattern is called the Man Cave pattern on your inspirations for the blanket itself. But in the corners, I did little appliques of woodland creatures. And we've got close-ups. So we did a little fox, a little sleeping fox in one corner. Cute little fox. And then we got the owl. Ignore my legs, my feet. Just ignore that. Pretend that's not there. So we did our little owl. And then the deer. The deer are so cute. And all of these patterns are free online. If anybody wants them, I think I posted them in the Discord for the ones that are on the blanket. I think they might be in the general section. So the cute little deer. My favorite part of the deer were the little spots and his antlers. So, so cute. Or her. And finally we have a little raccoon. The blanket ended in bigger. Yeah, bigger. Yeah, the blanket is bigger than I thought. Yeah, even for me. I wanted to use up all of that camo yarn. And then we got, like I said, our little raccoon. Can't really see it so much as he does have little black legs, little feet, but cute little. The Aaron Hart's pattern. Oh, it's back. Oh, the Aaron Hart's throw pattern's back on your inspirations. Yeah, I suspected that they probably had a glitch in their for their pattern. So that blanket here. Let me go back to this. This blanket is being donated to Project Linus. Again, I had all of the camouflage yarn that Clean Miko was nice to give me a few years ago, and I'm never going to use it because it's not my colors. And so this will go to a kid. It does, and it's big, so it's not necessarily it doesn't have to be a little kid. It could be like a middle schooler or whoever. So somebody's going to get some joy out of that. And then the other blanket, and if you are a longtime viewer of my stream, you remember when I was working on this. This is the Endlessly Elegant blanket from Ravelry. It is a continuous round. You crochet in the round, you start in the center, and you make it as big as you want. So this is a sizable. This is not baby size. This is much sizable. You can do whatever color you want. I had this, technically it's a baby yarn. It's got like a little bit of a silky feel to it. You repeat it as many times as you want. So you do the center part, which I call the field, and then you do this border frame part that I call, and then if you want to keep going, you do it again and again and again. So I did it, 4 of them, and then around the edge, I did like 4 or 5 rows of the field. You'll notice there's a slight color difference around the edge. It's technically the same color, but it's a different dye lot, so that's why it looks a little paler. But I think it still works. And it is so soft. And I've got some close-ups of the stitches. Lots of fans and popcorns in this pattern. I'm definitely going to do this blanket again. This pattern is also only a chart. It's not written out. So you have to know how to read a crochet chart. It's very fun to do. And there's more of a close-up of the center. You can see the fan motif. And you can really see the popcorn. They're front post double crochets and then popcorn stitches. And they alternate. And then the other row is opposite. So that's super pretty. What else do we have? Okay, another picture. Okay, so those are the 2 that I'm donating. And then Grammy, oh, that's not what I wanted. Grammy ETC is donating some. This is just a panel, a printed panel. And then what she did, and I don't know if you can see it, you can kind of zoom in. Like here, they're hand tied, so it's a real. And then I think she pieced the borders. She did a coordinating fabric for the borders. So many popcorns, they aren't quick. Yeah, the popcorns are not quick on that Endlessly Elegant, but they're fun to make. So that's a simple little blanket. There's this one, and I think we have a bigger picture of this. I think she said this stitch in the white. I think it's called the tulip stitch. I've never done it. I want to try it. And then she did like a variation of a V stitch for the border and then the shells. And then she made these applique pansies with the leaves. In the springtime, we're going to be doing a bunch of applique flowers. We might have a week or a month of nothing but applique flowers. I'm all about the appliques right now. So, super cute. I love the little detail of the thread, of the black thread for the little stamens of the center of the flower. The tulip or the primrose, yeah, I think she said it's the tulip stitch. Yeah. So there's that. There's this one. This is this was a most of her yarn that she gets is from Hirschner's, and this variegated. It had some solids that would coordinate, but when she worked it up with it, she didn't really like the way that the variegation was pulling. It was all just looking weird. So she found this stitch, and I don't remember the name of the stitch, but it's like kind of like a tilted puff stitch. You can see these puff things are kind of at an angle, and I think there's like 3 doubles in between each. I love it. I love this stitch. That's another one that I'm going to try to learn how to do. So I have to get that from her. And what else? What else is Grammy? This one here, I forgot what this name is. But like each row, you do a slightly different count. But then she would change up the color placement. I think there's a bigger picture of this one. So it's just not all the same. Like you're not doing the purple. She didn't do the purple all in the same frequency. I think further top, the other parts of it, there's a wider part of. It's not really purple. It's actually a royal blue. It's actually a really dark blue. It's just showing up purple. And okay, there's the pansy one again, with all in the corners. Spoopy Skellington's food with chef's kiss. Yum. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get food here when I'm done streaming, because I am getting a little hungry. So there's the full picture of the stitch is the vine stitch from Bag a Day for the variegated one. Okay, the vine stitch. I'll have to remember that one. Thank you, Grammy. And again, there's that one. It's showing up more blue in this. See how there's wider parts of the blue in the middle than there is at the ends. And she had lots of this Mexicana. It's Red Heart Mexicana. It's that bright rainbow colored yarn, which everybody hates or they love it. There's really no in between with that. I'm not a fan of it. I hate it. But I suggested to her to pick one of the colors that was in there to go with it. And it works with the blue. This actually works. Because that variegated Mexicana can be overpowering. And there's again, that's the vine stitch. And I think that's it. Probably going to show my whole screen here. Not that we need to see all that. Real quick, I am going to go and show stuff from the Discord that we haven't got to since the last time we did. I think we left off on Llama's. This was Llama's pictures of the classroom that she was in when she was in school, or they were in. And this looks like a bunch of axolotls on a whiteboard. Okay. Kind of cute. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't want to misgender. Sorry about that. But I'm glad I got it right. And then, here's the classroom. Oh, wow. I want to go to that classroom. I want to learn how to use those looms. Sign me up. That's one of the 2 classrooms that you had. Nice. Very, very nice. I like it. It's a lot of looms. Okay. Here's Fairy Dust blanket. I think Fairy Dust said that this was a TL Yarn Crafts pattern. Oh my god. There are phantoms and they won't go away because it rains. Oh. And it's daytime. Oh, you're playing Minecraft. I'm like, huh? Yeah, have fun with that. Yeah, this was Fairy Dust's pattern project. It's a TL Yarn Crafts. I think he said it's a TL Yarn Crafts pattern. And it is Hirschner's yarn. I think that was the first time he was using Hirschner's yarn. And the colors. I love the colors. I told him, I said, it's giving me all of the good 70s vibes. Very groovy. Thank you, Fairy Dust, for that. I really It turned out really, really good. Turned out really good. What else do we got? Sophie 22. Finally got my gauge swatch done this morning for my shawl. And again, this is from last week. Went on to working on the shawl. Just now realizing I'm not doing a double crochet in the first 2 rows. Ribbit, ribbit. Spent hours on it. It looks good. Even if you weren't doing the right stitch. It looks really good, Sophie. And that color is beautiful. It's like a bluish gray. So hopefully that's going to turn out really nice when you get more work done on it. Here's Llama's sock from the kit that they got the other week. Love all that, the different color work here on the front. Great job. Again, you knit way too fast, like faster than I can even dream of. I can barely knit. We've got a finish. This is from Meals on Wheels. They've got their diamond paint, their Tom and Jerry diamond painting. So yay for a finish. It's always good to have a finished project done. That's something I posted from the other day. More from Sophie. Crochet pumpkin. Now I have 4 more of them to make. Grammy saw, Fairy Dust said it's TL Yarn Crest pattern called the Theo blanket, okay? Grammy said, correction, it's the Bag of Days puff vine stitch. And Llama says, now the second cuff has been taunting me all week. Been too busy or tired to knit. Well, you'll get to it. You'll get to it. Sophie's crocheted pumpkin. Now to make 4 more of them. That is adorable. Very, very cute. Sophie, when you said that you were making pumpkins, I was envisioning larger pumpkins. I didn't think they were going to be that small, but they're pretty cute. Alrighty. Willow Grove Girl, first knitting project, making some socks. For a first knitting project, like, I can't. My first knitting project would probably look horrible. I haven't even made a knitting project. I barely did a swatch. The stitches, I think I might have mentioned that the stitches look so nice and even. I'm not certain what this is going to be. I don't know if this is going to be a sweater or... This looks like a cuff. Or it might be a top-down sock. I'm not certain. Willow Grove Girl posted a link on how to do the Knit Magic Loop, which I've heard of. I don't know anything really about knitting. Speaking of knitting, we have our last picture. This is from Lumberjack's Lady. Knitting my first sweater, not in the round, using Lion Brown Retweed, and it's an awesome yarn. Yeah. Great color. And, again, the stitches are so nice and uniform. Great work, everybody. Thanks, everybody who shared in the Discord. I will be sharing the... Oh, yeah, okay. I almost forgot I didn't share Grammys, but I did share Grammys. I will be posting the blankets for Project Line is in the Discord probably tonight or tomorrow. Llama says next week should be easier regarding work. Farthest I've gone in knitting is casting on. Yeah, I know how to do the one type of cast on. I don't know what type it is, because I know there's different ways of casting on. And I've done about a handful of stitches in one row and then another row. And I was like, this is taking forever. But just like with anything, you gotta practice and practice and practice to get better at it. So let's move that. I'm losing my voice again. And it's just the change in the weather. Oh, I didn't give a sneak peek for tomorrow, even though I did it last night. Let me go back to Mr. Owl. So tomorrow, we're going to be doing 4 little squares. These are all by the same... Hold on one second. I gotta remember who this was by. These 4 are by the same YouTube channel called Bizzy Crochet, B-I-Z-Z-Y. They're all the same size, so they all can work together. They're essentially the same block. The only thing you change different is the color in the center, and you do the ears slightly different for each one, and then any embellishments. So we've got a little deer, a cute little fox, a raccoon, and a bear. So these are all proportionately the same. I think they were meant to work together to make a blanket or the same project. So that's what we will be working on tomorrow. I did add embellishments like the eyes and the mouth or the nose. They only have the animal face, the squaring it up, and then the applique for like the raccoon for the eyes, and then obviously the ears and the antlers. Just finished listening to my favorite Boss theme. Would you believe me if I told you they combine opera singing in Latin and Japanese? Traditional Japanese woodwinds, electronic drum and bass, a bit of EDM, and church organs in 9 minutes and made it sound so good. I don't even know how to comprehend that. Yeah, that sounds like a lot. Hold on one second. Let me double check something real quick. But yeah, if it sounds good, that's great. So, I can send the song here or in Discord if you want as a listen. Oh, so it's a picture of the wall. Yeah, definitely send it. Yeah, send it in Discord if you want. So then, like, anybody else can take a listen to it. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. We're doing our 4 little forest friends. And move that to the side. So I think we're going to end it for tonight. I am getting a little tired. I'm getting hungry. I'll be on tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, for those little squares. No, but I just got here. Oh, I'm sorry, Andrew. Well, what you missed... I'll move this down. These are my samples. My cute little owl and the cute little squirrel. These are from the YouTube channel Maria's Blue Crayon. And these are the ones I did on stream. I made a derpy looking owl. And then a gray squirrel with a tan and gray brownish tail. And we name them. This is Bucktooth Billy. And this is No Nut Nelly. And possibly they might be enemies. This is the hero. And this might be the villain. And I guess to go along with it, we have our crochet amigurumi that we made the other day. So we got our little... This is our Woodland. We're still on our Woodland theme. This will be the last week of our Woodland theme. Because next week, we're doing pumpkins. Oh, sure, vilify the woman. I don't know. Actually, you know what? Some of the best villains in cartoons, TV shows, movies are always the female villains. You got to admit, the female villains are pretty good. Like Ursula, or Maleficent, or the Evil Queen. Yeah. The female villains are the fun ones. We gay up in this bitch? Yeah. So, those are our little forest friends from tonight. Alrighty, so like I said, I'll be on tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for our little squares with our little woodland creatures in the center. Join the Discord if you're not part of the Discord. We got a little group over there. We share things. We just shared things tonight. Join the YouTube. Check out the YouTube. I upload all of my streams, uncut, unfiltered. The way you see it here is how it's going to be over there. So you can watch past streams. They almost a year now. Beginning of December will be my 1 year stream anniversary. So I've got streams on over there on the YouTube going all the way back. The beginning wasn't crochet; they were Christmas ornaments. So if you want to check out some of that, I got a merch store. I haven't added anything. Well, I added something new the other day. Why isn't my merch message working? There it goes. There it worked. I've got 2 different t-shirts. They're pretty much the same, just the colorways are the designs are different. And then the same designs on Nightbot had a nap. And then the same designs on a 32-ounce stainless steel water bottle. I'm going to come up with some other designs besides that one design and maybe some other type of products. I use Teespring, so it's whatever products they have available. I have to choose from them, and they just print it on whatever I come up with onto their already existing blanks. So check that out. I think that's the usual. It's everything that I have to say. I'm gonna learn how to do this one day. How to really be a streamer. Let's see here. We're going to go raid somebody, and I know who we're going to raid. So everybody stick around for the raid. Even if you don't interested and want to hang out, just pop in, give them a little shout out, say hi, show them some love. They are a relatively small streamer. I'm a small streamer. They are working on, let me pop on over there real quick. They're working on a sweater that they've been working on for a while. Like I said, show them some love. They only have 60 followers. So give them some love. Follow them. Try to get them up to... I don't know if they're affiliate yet. Boost their numbers. Like, people have boosted my numbers. I want to give back. So help them out. We're going to go raid Cake Crochet. He's pretty cool. I think it's a he. Yeah, I think they identify as he. They're working this really, really pretty yarn. So, like I said, show them some love, and I will be back again tomorrow night. So everybody have a good evening.